Hello, good morning, and welcome to Love Island The Morning After, the only official Love Island podcast. I'm Indiyah Polack.
And I'm Amy Hart, and this morning we have got a chock-a-block show for you. Firstly, this week we are joined by internet sensation Jack Remmington.
Oh, internet sensation.
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you feeling, Jack? You excited to be with us?
Yeah, I am very excited. I feel like, as is every week this season, there's a lot to get into.
Before we kick into it, this is something that we do for all our weekly guests. You are very special. You know, we're going to take care of you this week.
Sure.
And to just sort of crown you, we do have a nice little gift for you.
Okay.
It is your very own water
Whoa!
bottle.
Oh my God! I don't know who to
There you
thank.
go.
Thank you, Mum. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, everyone that's got into this place. So
I love that Luke was really surprised week one, and now everyone's just
Yeah.
like, where's the bottle?
I never said that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And Jack isn't the only person we've got us today. We are joined fresh from the villa by wonderful Gio and Emily.
Morning, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
How are you feeling? Fresh?
Yeah, fresh.
Yeah,
Well, we actually
fresh.
saw you last
Yeah.
night on
I was gonna say,
Did you enjoy After Sun?
I literally loved it. Like, I loved all the live TV, and yeah, it was just sort of nice to sit down, say what you gotta say, and no, I loved it. It was so good.
Right. I think we need to grill them on their time in the villa.
We do.
Giorgio, let's start with you.
Yeah,
So obviously
go
you
for it.
originated at the sleepover.
Yeah.
You and Helena had a connection there and had like a kiss and stuff, didn't you? And she
Yeah.
brought you back. Then obviously she wasn't really feeling it and ended it. Was that why you didn't bring Yaz back from Casa Amor?
It is, yeah. So things were going really well for me and Helena in the sleepover villa, and we were getting on really, really well. I was thinking, God, this is going better than expected. And it was like a different person when we got back to the main villa. I think probably the best conversation we had in the main villa was when we actually did call things off. And I'd been speaking to the boys a couple of days before saying, it's different, like this is not the same girl I know, etc. I felt crap when it did happen, like for the first couple of days, because I didn't know anyone. I just knew her and Dee, really, and Dee was with Meg. So it did play a big part in why I didn't bring Yaz back, because I didn't want to put that on her as well.
So this was the first time that we saw somebody not bring another girl back from Casa Amor and already being single. How important was this for you to just stay absolutely true to yourself?
I did think about the fact that it would leave me vulnerable, but I thought to myself, I'm 30 years old. I didn't go in there just for the sake of being on television. Like, I've been single for 8 years. I thought there's a possibility that I could actually meet someone. And I'd not lied about how I felt the whole time. So I thought to myself, I don't see Yaz as anything more than just a friend. So it would be wrong for me taking her back and pretending to be in a situationship there. I saw a story about the fact that I wanted to go home, which was not true.
right.
Obviously, I wanted to stay there, but I thought I can't fake a relationship. Even though it is a game show, I just can't sit there and pretend to like someone when I don't.
Yeah.
So I just decided to be upfront with Yaz and go back on my own, just face it.
You are the perfect gentleman. Everyone that we've met who's come out of the villa says it.
Thank you.
Obviously, some of the behaviour from the boys in there has been anything but gentlemanly. Before you went in, did you think, like, oh, I'm going to go in there and be like a real breath of fresh air for these girls and show them that guys can be really nice? Do you think you're too much of a gentleman for Love Island?
I don't think I am. I think maybe some of the girls are in there not necessarily after the right thing. I think from the vibe I got, some of them maybe don't really know what they want themselves in order to actually be able to give that. I mean, some of them are a bit younger as well, and some of the guys like Tommy and Ben, like they would come to me for advice, and even Harry's the same age as me, would ask me questions and advice. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what sort of life do these guys live? Like, they genuinely don't know, like, some real ways about how respect goes with women and stuff. And I just went in there thinking, I've got a sister and a mum and Nan, etc. And I thought I'd want to treat a girl in there the same way that I'd treat them. Like, I don't understand what some of these boys are doing in there with some of the ways that they're acting. But yeah, I don't know.
So if you'd stayed in there a bit longer, we could have seen a whole different side to Harry. The geofied version of Harry.
This is what I was going to say. What advice did you give him? Because I don't think you followed very much.
Yeah.
Either that or you're not very good at advice.
Well, no, it was the Shakira situation when they fell out. I spoke to Shakira at the fire pit, and it was after the song Mary Pie. I realised that he had made a bit of a hiccup where he kissed Helena, and I just said to her, I was like, he has openly said to us that he does like you. I mean, even in Casa, when we got the text saying Shakira had kissed someone, he's covered up with Helena, and he actually said, I felt a kind of way when Shakira kissed as opposed to what Helena did.
Do you think that is the best couple we never had? I know we did have them, but do you think that Shakira and Harry could have been like endgame?
I think so, yeah, because I think Harry did really like her, but I think he thinks he can have something maybe a little bit more. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd get on with Harry really well, but I just think he's kind of like a bit of a kid in a candy shop where he's got a lot of attention coming his way. Understandably so, he's a really tall, reasonably good-looking lad, so you can see where it's coming
Reasonably
from.
good looking, he's killing me. He's at like 6 out of 10. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think he's maybe a little bit confused with what he actually wants. I think he did really like Shakira, probably more than Helena, but he's obviously chosen Helena.
We always said that we thought they were great together.
When me and Helena came back to the villa, I think what brought it back, like I remember seeing Harry and Shakira sat in the hammock for like 4 hours or whatever, just chilling, just them two. I mean, you can't sit for 4 hours with someone that you're not getting along with, do you know what I mean? So
I mean, there's still 3 weeks left, and this year, anything could happen. Like, literally, who knows? We could end up with Shakira and Harry.
I hope not.
I don't
yeah,
think so.
I don't think she'll go back there.
No.
Would you say that there was anyone in the villa that maybe you didn't get a chance to know that you would have liked to explore a little bit more?
No, to be honest, I don't think there was. I made it no secret in there that I was pretty into blondes. Helena was pretty much the only blonde in there for me, really, and I don't really think I had anything more than just a friendship with anyone in there, which 3 weeks of friendships, I felt like I was like biding my time a little bit in there, to be honest. But Toni was on my top 3 when I went in. So naturally, when I first got there and things ended with Helena, things sort of were going really good for her. She'd just been on a date with Harrison, and I was like, okay, well, Megan had gone, who was second on my top 3, and then it was Toni. So I thought to myself, I can't really go in there with Toni. And then Yaz started giving me a bit of attention, and I was like, all right, this is quite good. Then things went down the pan with Toni and Harrison, and I was like, okay, this is a good chance to like make things work. But I don't think anything really got off the ground. She was kind of like, yeah, I think she does really like Harrison. But I did sort of say to her, I was like, look, I know you're not in any sort of frame of mind, because she's kind of one person like that. She was like, slowly but surely we can get to know each other. And I was like, yeah, cool. And then obviously she rekindled. But
I mean, it's week 6 now. I feel like we can start asking, who would your winners be?
I would have said that Tommy could be in for a shout, because Tommy's like my little brother and I love him and he's like the best guy. But I think it will probably be one of the girls and the Casa boys. I don't know who it's going to be, but I think the boys maybe made a bit of a mess in Casa that's probably given them a bit of a bad rap on the outside. But yeah, I'd not watched it back, what happened in Casa with the girls. But I think one of the girls maybe. I don't actually think it will be that simple. I think there'll still be changes in the
It'll
last
be a
2
couple
weeks.
that we don't have yet.
Do you actually think that could be doable?
Yeah, Mimi wasn't together for
That's
very
it,
long,
Mimi
were
and
they?
Josh for 9 days.
Yeah.
The way the villa is working at the moment, I mean, we literally saw last night the whole change room that's going to happen with Shakira and Connor.
Yeah.
So
That could
The
go.
most compatible couple at the moment being a couple that's basically not going to exist potentially in a day or two. Yeah.
Shakira's got a choice to make, but we'll talk about that later.
we'll talk about that.
Well, thank you, Joe. We loved watching you in
No
the villa.
problem. Thank you.
Emily,
Yes.
coming in on that date, did you know it was going to be on the big screen?
No. No idea. I didn't know until I walked through that door. I was so excited. I was walking in. And then the vibe was low. I was like, oh God. And then obviously I saw the screen, but I'd never been there before. So I didn't know whether that screen was just there all the time. You just don't know. And I walked in and like the girls were sat by the fire pit staring at the boys. I was like, oh God, what's happened? And they were like, the screen. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, they've watched it. And I was like, oh my God, what did I say? Like, because obviously you're Bombshell, I'm like giving it all, like, yeah, I can take your man, whatever. And I was like, what did I actually say? And then obviously I got off quite scot-free, to be honest, which was lucky. They were like, oh, you were so respectful. I was like, thanks.
You were the lesser of 3 evils, basically.
They were like, oh, you came across really well. I was like, oh, okay, good. But Toni, like, obviously pulled me straight away. I was like, oh God, like, terrified. Yeah, I was fine, thank God. But yeah, Yasmin, obviously Malaysia, didn't have as easy of a time. But it was mostly the boys, I think, that they were, like, annoyed at because, well, they obviously said some things, as they always do.
Yeah. Speaking of Toni, we obviously saw when you guys had a little bit of confrontation. Do you think that is something now, like looking back, like maybe on the outside, you and Toni would get over out, or would you say that maybe you're just not each other's kind of girls? Like, what was that really, really about?
Honestly, like, I'm just as confused as everyone else. And so was everyone in the villa. Like, I think it was literally, Toni was sort of down that week.
I was going to say she wasn't having a good time,
Yeah,
was
she wasn't having a good time. And I think I sort of was. So I was in a good mood, you know? Like, and I weren't rubbing in anyone's face, but like, I think as soon as I come in, I was sort of on a high, because I did have quite a nice entrance and like a nice week. Like the boy I liked me. Like, I was just sort of in a good mood sort of thing. And I just think it just exploded. But honestly, we were completely fine, like, the morning after. It looked very dramatic for what it was.
Yeah, what we've seen, there's like obviously very clear divide in the villa. There's like the two groups, and even at Casa, like normally that'd be a time that everyone just bonded because there's no boys there. Like, but everyone seemed to still be arguing.
Yeah, like, honestly though, it's not like that. Like, what it is, people are closer as they go into be. And I think in Casa, because there was so many single girls in there, obviously you want to keep your cards close to your chest because you could like the same boy sort of thing. And obviously people have their comfort blanket, people are closer to other people. But honestly, like in Casa, if anything, we were all like encouraging each other. Like, we honestly had the best time there together in Casa, to be honest. We argue like sisters.
Yeah.
And like people are closer than others, but at the end of the day, like, we all have each other's back. But obviously, so much goes on, they can't show
And all we
that.
see is the 10%, which we love.
Obviously, later down the line, during your journey, you were getting to know Connor, and then things kind of like fizzled out, and he kind of made it clear that he wanted to get to know Megan a little bit more.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel? When you did find out, were you shocked by it?
So obviously the initial, he just pulled Megan for a chat while she was sat next to me. That was a shock. Like, I think Megan was shocked as well. Like, we sort of looked at each other.
Yeah. She was shocked. We were all shocked.
We were all shocked. Tommy was shocked. Like, it was one of those. So we had a conversation like he's been having with Emma at the minute. He was like, oh, I just like my space and not used to blah, blah, blah. So I was like, I feel good tonight. I look good tonight. And then I see my man. He's walking over. I'm like, oh, sat there, ready. And then next minute he goes, Megan, can I pull you for a chat? I was like, I was like, what? Like, and she looked at me, I looked at her. Tommy looks over. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So then obviously, he explained to her, and then obviously in good corner, like, he goes around the bush then. He was like, oh, but I wanted to pull Megan first because it's not a big deal. Like, just wanted to see the vibe if she wants to. And then I was going to pull you straight away. And I was like, well, you could have told me at least. I didn't even know he was like...
Heads up would have been nice.
Yeah. Obviously, I knew he probably found Megan attractive. She's gorgeous, like, who wouldn't sort of thing. But he never even mentioned, like, they was chatting before or, like, he liked it. So I was completely just like, what just happened?
Connor always seems to have a backup ready. So as soon as something starts, so like him and Toni weren't going well, so he, like, you were there, brilliant, cool. And then, like, he went to chat to Megan before talking to you about it just to test the waters. And then he's done the same, like, him and Emma aren't going well, so he's like, right, Shakira.
It seems to be the pattern, like, honestly, like, now I look at Connor and I laugh, like, as in, like, I think he's so funny.
I laugh in his face.
Yeah, not even like that. No, I mean,
know.
like, I think he's hilarious. And, like, we got on towards the end. I was like, oh, why didn't you go pull her? And stuff like that. I think with Megan, honestly, like, what I saw of him and Megan, he was so touchy-feely. Like, wherever she was, he wanted to be. And, like, that's the strongest I've seen him. And he was, like, obsessed with her, I'd say, from what I saw. Because we don't know. Maybe they would have coupled up and then he would have gone on to the... Like, I don't know. Because it was, like, the what if. Like, they were never in a couple.
He spoke about her all the time.
I was going to say, that's what I mean. Like, that's what I saw. And, like, I'd find it hard to believe he would have swayed, but I think if he was with Megan, they would have been.
Yeah.
Like, we'd be doing something and he'd be like, oh, I wonder what Megan's doing.
Yeah, literally.
Random
Like,
thing.
he was,
Yeah.
like,
God.
obsessed with Megan.
I mean, when she did leave, we did see his reaction. He was in bits.
Yeah.
Like, he was really cut up about it.
Yeah.
In the breakup, you did get a free gift in the shape of Tommy.
I did.
And you did. I kept saying it was a situationship because it was a relationship born out of a situation.
Yeah.
Was it obvious to you that you would have a connection, or were you literally just like, look, we might as well try it out, and then you had a connection?
Obviously, I haven't really watched it all back, to be honest, so I don't know what was shown of me and Tommy sort of thing. But basically, when I first ever walked into the, like, boys' night, me and Tommy were opposite each other, and we just kept looking at each other. Like, there was a vibe sort of thing. Like, I knew he fancied me, I fancied him sort of thing. But, like, him and Megan, like, that was sort of, like, forbidden fruit, wasn't it? Like, they were, like, everyone's little cute couple, like, you leave them two alone. Like, I thought they'd be from start to finish sort of thing. Like, and everyone did. And I did like Connor. Like, I come in, he had his arm around me. I was like, yeah, like, my man, like, he wants me. So I had chats with Tommy, and, like, we spoke all the time, but, like, as friends sort of thing. He was someone, I'd always kiss him in challenges. Like, if they were like, who would you be coupled up with? But I always had the same questions. It was like, who would you be coupled up with if you weren't with your current partner? Who do you think is the best looking other than your current partner? Like, that type of thing. I'd always be Tommy. So we always had, like, a little thing, but we didn't really explore it until, obviously, that situation. But, like, he was someone, if I was upset, I'd speak to him, and he'd always have my back regardless. We had a nice little relationship anyways. And then one time he sat me down when the whole Connor Megan situation was like quite fresh actually. He was like, why ain't we actually speaking to each other? Because we were just speaking about them two all the time. So it started to like materialise. Then obviously I went to the sleepover. But like that sleepover, obviously, you've probably seen clips, like, you know, like, it wasn't really for me. I had my finger sucked, you know. I was feeling like,
That was the worst.
I was feeling a bit homesick, you know.
I had my finger sucked. That was the worst dare ever.
I feel like you've all played Truth or Dare so much.
It's
that
Dijon.
it's run out.
It's
Yeah.
Dijon.
Yeah.
And I was
It
like,
feels
no.
like every single episode. It's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah, like I was in that sleepover villa, and like, do you know when you just know you're going back, you have a gut feeling, and I was like, right, something's happened. We can't. I knew he would have laid it on thick when I weren't there, but I didn't think like Tommy and Megan would be done. Say, like I thought they'd still, but I didn't know obviously what was going on. Like I had no like spark with Will whatsoever, as you could probably tell. Yeah. So I was like, I'm not going to bring him back. Like I'd rather Connor be there than Will, and like I had a gut feeling like the person would be dumped because there were so many people. But I was excited to go back to Tommy, and like the first person I spoke to when I walked in, he gave me a big up. He's like, "Oh, I missed you so much." And then obviously I spoke to the girls, obviously the con situation. But then I was with Tommy like most of the night, then just speaking, and then it was nice. But it actually started quite early on, more than people maybe would have thought, and like materialised. It was like friendship to lovers, I suppose, but without the love part completely, I suppose.
Can I ask Gio, when you were at Casa, was anyone saying to Tommy, like, you know, what you've got with Emily is really good?
Yeah, so I actually sat a few of the boys down when we were in Casa.
I love Gio's advice.
I was surprised it didn't get shown because when we came in, all the boys were in the bedroom and a few of the boys had it put on thick, like early doors. And I just said to them, obviously they're quite young. Tommy's 22, Harrison's 22 as well. I just said to them, I was like, boys, be careful because these girls have watched the show for a month now, so they know what the public are thinking, everything's happening outside. They've seen what you've done, but only in a 45-minute episode. Lucy obviously came in for Tommy saying about her dad loves him, her friends love him and stuff. And I just said to him, I was like, look, just take a breather, be careful, and just get to know them properly as opposed to like the way they're acting with you. And that went down the pan.
He tried.
I tried.
He tried. And like that's the frustrating part, I think, because obviously a boy, he's been, 8 weeks out of action. This girl is coming in, like, she's all for him. Like, obviously being really affectionate, really, like, that comes slowly with me to be, like, super intimate, like, touchy-feely, super, like, kissing them
and they're
all
on a
the
mission.
time.
They're on a
exactly.
mission.
And I don't blame her one bit. Like, if I was a cast girl, I'd be like, right, you just got to suck it up, you got to do it.
Yeah.
But I think, obviously, if someone's showing him so much attention, which he might have not had in the villa, because like we were like a slow burner. I think him and Megan were a slow burner, and someone's just coming in full force. Like I'd fall for it as well. I'd be like, oh, they love me.
Yeah.
Ultimate love bombing.
Yeah, and I'd be like, wow, like obviously, but like wow, like you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So I think that's the frustrating part, and then obviously.
Yeah. Before we get into talking about the episode, I just want to ask you if you could have picked anyone else to graft at Casa, who would it be?
Probably Rio. Tried to have a couple of conversations with Rio, but never really got the chance.
She was too busy getting tickled.
Yeah.
And if you could have coupled up with anyone from the Casa boys, who would it have been?
Probably Ty. Yeah, we actually, honestly, I had really good conversations with all the Casa boys, but Ty is like really sweet, nice, like cutesy vibes, and that's kind of what I like. Just a nice boy. So yeah, we had a really nice conversation, me and Ty, to be fair.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
I was going to say a little bit of tea for you.
You might be available soon, so yes. But thank you so much for coming to join us. Will you stay and chat about the episode with us?
Of course, yeah.
From award-worthy flicks to star-studded pre-love fits, get your popcorn ready. It's time to relive the most fabulous fashion moments from movie night with eBay. It seems that all that glitters is gold with our girls Shakira, Toni and Billy Kiss, respectively stunning, and Godiva, Nancy Jajaka and Club L. I couldn't get over how gorgeous they looked. It's as if these gowns were made just for them. They were perfect for an event like this when you really want to make a statement and turn heads. The boys didn't screw up too badly either, but it was Harry and Harrison that stole the show in their Versace and Prada, mixing luxury with a laid-back villa feel. A great combination when the villa's heating up and you need to keep things cool. Looking to add some sparkle to your summer? Shop Villa Glamour with eBay, sponsors of Love Island. There's only one thing we can start with, and that is the shock dumping. They weren't even gathered around the fire pit.
No, it was very much
They were dotted around.
Yeah.
Obviously, at the end of Sunday night's episode, we got to vote for our most compatible couple, and the the results came in, and the lowest voted couple was Ben and Andrada, and they were dumped immediately. Nobody could come to the front door with them.
Yeah.
That must have been a quiet walk out. Were we expecting that?
I think so.
Yeah, because obviously she had a thing with Dijon, didn't she?
Yeah.
And everyone was sort of saying she come into the villa for him. And like Ben was like...
And that was quite heavy on what we saw as well. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the storyline for a while was
Yeah.
Andrada and Dijon. So
Exactly.
it was like hard to then see it as like, cool, it's really believable that she
Yeah.
and Ben are so invested.
I was quite shocked by it though, to be fair, because I know obviously at the start Ben was a bit like confused and thinking, oh, you here for me or Dijon? But I've always said, you know, she is a Casa girl.
Yeah.
And I feel like she's well within her rights. It's still early days. She has to get to know more than one person.
Yeah.
And like, you know, Ben being so shocked, like, oh, are you using me to get back to the main villain? It's like, well,
That was a great impression.
obviously.
What show we're on.
It doesn't mean I don't want to get to know you. So I feel like she still did have a bit more time. And even in last night's episode, when they were doing the little like staring competition, it did seem like, okay, things were finally starting to blossom. So I was actually quite shocked. I was maybe expecting maybe like Helena and Harry. I know
See.
they have been together for a while, but there's just a lot of things that are just, or even like Meg and Dijon, like it is normal to argue and stuff, but there's a lot of...
See, now, I thought that Helena and Harry and Meg and Dijon would be fine because I think in a lot of these things, people have their favourite girl
Yeah,
and the boy gets
100%.
dragged along.
Yeah.
And I know Meg's got a lot of support and Helena's got a lot of support. So I knew
Yeah.
they would be fine.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised because these votes are all about timing. It's when that vote comes. And obviously we'd seen a lot of Andrada in that episode, whereas people like Boris and Billy Kiss, we haven't really seen.
Yeah.
So I was quite surprised actually. Like Boris and Billy Kiss weren't even in the bottom 4.
No.
So they were like in the top half, even though we hadn't seen them, which shows that they've obviously got quite a lot of support.
Yeah, and
But I
think
also
so.
think it's not only Andrada. I think Ben's probably got a bit of a
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
previous.
From before.
So
100%.
some people,
Yeah.
and also
So-
some people might be like, oh, I would vote for Andrada, but I don't want to
They
vote
would
for
have
Ben.
Exactly,
they would have
yeah.
done, yeah.
I also
Yeah.
think with Billy Kiss and Boris, not much has been shown, and we don't know if that much has been said between them. However, was it movie night when he just said, she's in a safe pair of hands now?
That gave
That's
us hope.
all I need to hear.
Yeah.
My winner's right there. Like anything, sometimes like small but quality as a viewer is
Yeah.
like, cool, I really believe
Also,
it.
I think
Yeah.
sometimes the vote is in alphabetical order, isn't it? So you might see them quite earlier on. And you're like, oh, I forgot about them. I love them.
Yeah.
Vote. Yeah.
I always say, like, the people least shown are probably the least problematic.
Yeah.
No news is good news.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you think the other 3 couples that have voted least compatible were Lauren and Harrison, Emma and Connor, and Lucy and Tommy in no particular order.
Yeah.
So that just shows that the couples that have been quieter are actually in the top half, which is
Yeah.
really
So good.
interesting. I'm loving
We also
this.
saw in last night's episode, there was like a little tiny cutaway of him giving her a nice like sunscreen massage.
Yeah.
So look, no news is good news. They're
Exactly.
having a good
Yeah.
time. There's no trouble.
They're on
We've got
holiday.
nothing to worry
Yeah.
about.
I think it's nice as a viewer to be reminded of what you just said though, because
Yeah.
like I sometimes I'm just like, oh yeah, well clearly they're not that compatible, but you're absolutely right.
No,
Given there's so much drama this
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
the ones who just stay out of it, unproblematic, wiping sun cream all over each other, great, good for you. You've clearly got good chemistry going on. Do you know what I mean?
And like that is literally how it is in there. It's like you always have like the little quiet corners, and then we all sort of segregate there, and then you're just watching everything else unfold, and you just sat there and like, I'm glad that's not me.
Yeah, how lucky we are that we're not part of the drama. Yeah,
and you just
100%.
sat there and you're like, yeah, this is nice.
Shakira and Ty were voted the most compatible couple, which after what we'll talk about later with her and Connor, I mean, she might have to go back to Ty, but they have got to choose tonight who gets dumped. So who do we think they are going to dump?
It's funny because everyone's saying that she's playing a game, so maybe that could go to her head.
So everyone like who, as in people on the outside or people in the villa?
Well, no, a couple of people in the villa. I think that Shakira's playing a bit of a game.
like who?
Tell us.
is
We have
good.
some names.
I
Ben.
Oh, no, sorry.
Yeah,
I mean,
You're like Ben,
Yeah,
Helena, all the people that
Yeah,
don't like
Ben's
Shakira think
supposedly
she's
said
playing
from
a
the
game.
start, so I don't know.
I would say she's got 3 options. She can self-sabotage and send home Emma and Connor.
Why would she do that?
She
not
can
do that.
she can be the very level-headed, cruel to be kind best friend
Right.
and send home Harrison
Which
and
is also
Lauren.
not
Tony would
gonna be.
hate her.
Yeah. Tony will
Tony
go
would
mad.
make a
Tony
living
would go
nightmare.
Which means the only option she
Yeah.
really has, I say she, as if Ty's got any say in this.
Ty has no say.
Ty
He's
has
got
no right.
absolutely no say.
You're right.
It should have just
Yeah.
been Shakira gets to vote.
Yes.
So it's looking like it could be Lucy and Tommy, but as we know, anything
sad.
could happen.
Yeah.
And we'll find out tonight.
If that does, if it is Lucy and Tommy, I mean, if he does come out and he does hear that voice note that is supposed to be Lucy obviously we don't know, that is going to be hard to hear. And who knows what that would do for their relationship.
If he does, all I'm going to say is told you.
Oh, God, not the
Just to
told you
rub it in.
so.
Phone will start ringing. Gio's calling.
I'll ring
He'll be
him.
like, "Oh, I can't wait to speak to you." Told you.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Advisable
Bless him.
couple.
I actually
Sure,
can't wait. If it is Tommy, I actually can't wait for him to come out and put
You
my
did
arm
actually
around him.
say, you were like, "I do actually really miss him." So
Yeah, I
really like
actually
to see
do.
him.
He was like my little brother in there. So
If she does, though, if she ends up doing that for Tony's sake, what cracking telly that'll be.
oh, wow,
I don't think she'd
No,
do
she
that.
No, she wouldn't.
would.
It would
I'm
be
just
hot.
I'm fantasizing.
Yeah.
Shape, squares, triangle. So last night we saw the conversation, well, a little bit between Harrison, Toni, and Lauren. It seems like now there's another triangle forming. Toni spoke to her closest friends in there, Yaz and Shakira.
Yeah.
And they all seemed, they're
Furious.
We're not mad, we're just disappointed after Toni said, you know what, I do think I like Harrison again and I want to rekindle. What are our opinions?
We've all been there and we have those friends that it's literally like talking to a brick wall and they just will not listen. But the thing is, I think the main issue in this is Harrison. Like, Harrison is the problem. Toni and Lauren think that each other are the problem. They're
not,
As it
no.
has been for the whole series, like, the girls are not the problem. I mean, we saw a lot more than chats. Not you.
Gio's like,
The girls and Gio are not the problem. Like, we saw a lot more than chats.
there was a bit of
There's been
So,
moving under the sheet.
and I
dance
think,
horizontal tango.
I think that explains a lot as to why Lauren is so in it. Because
Yeah,
so far we're just
100%.
like, oh, bless her, she's down really bad. But now
Yeah.
you're like, wow.
Yeah.
If he's also saying that that's not even the first time, like 2-0.
Yeah.
Which was a horrible, like,
Sorry,
analogy
yeah.
situation, by
I
the
thought
way.
that
Like,
was
we
horrible.
aren't playing football.
We're not playing
This
football.
is people's hearts we're playing with. You know what I mean?
And I think him
Much more
also like
precious.
explaining it to the boys on like the beanbags without informing Lauren first. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, but again, she was so down bad that she was like, "Oh, did you?" Like, there wasn't even a real like annoyance. I just think he's got two people who are very, very infatuated with him.
How do you think Tony's going to take it? Because she's going to inevitably find out. If we know, she will know soon enough. Do you think that will put her off Harrison?
I think it might.
I hope so.
I think the opposite. It's going to make her want him even more, I think.
It depends when she finds out in the timeline of when she finishes it off with Cash, I think.
Yeah.
And I think hopefully she'll find out before she says to him, like, I really don't want to be with you, because I feel like there could still be a chance there.
I really don't want her to give things up with Cash. I think he's a really good guy.
so
And I think
nice.
So nice.
right now, Tony's obviously like, she's going with her heart, she's going with her emotions. But Harrison hasn't been really clear. He has also been saying things to her like, oh, I can see you being my girlfriend, all these kind of things. So I don't think Harrison is going to treat Tony the way she expects him to. I think she has very high hopes.
Yeah.
And she's going back off like, old feelings. But sometimes you just got to move on.
I know.
Easier said than done, though.
Yeah, I
obviously.
agree.
So-
In there as well.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
so hard.
One thing I would say is, obviously, the vote was most compatible. Obviously, we know that, like, not everyone follows the rules and they might just vote for their favourites. But do you think Harrison might see that, and also Toni might see that as, oh my God, people don't think that Lauren and Harrison are compatible?
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
But then I think she may be like, oh my God, I can't believe you've actually like done what you've done with her just before that, and now you're calling things off. I think she might actually feel a little bit sorry for Lauren if Harrison does do that to her.
And I think to find out like Harrison is trying to so heavily move to her when you've actually been quite deeply intimate with somebody else, that's not really a nice feeling.
No.
another love triangle. I'm loving this. We've got new love triangles. We're not
do.
talking about the same ones over and over again anymore.
No.
So a new love triangle in Connor, Shakira and Ty. Now, obviously, this was a bit rogue from Connor. It was giving a little bit of like the last one left.
Yeah.
Like that he hasn't chatted to.
Yeah.
But they did seem to have a lovely time in the hideaway.
They did.
Do we think ultimately Shakira would choose Connor or Ty?
Connor.
I think
She's
yeah.
not
I
asked
think,
about
yeah,
Ty. Like,
she
even when you said
seems-
about who do you think's the fittest, she was sat there with him, so obviously she had to say him. There's no world.
No.
Like, she's already so over it. She
Yeah.
doesn't even want to be kissing him anymore.
She said, who do you fancy
Yeah.
more?
Yeah.
Physical attraction, you,
Should
obviously.
not need clarifying.
No, but also
No.
Stony's silence. So you can hear the cogs in his turning, but I haven't got a very good personality. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but
great.
he went,
Thanks.
oh, that's great. That's a really good answer.
like,
You're like,
oh,
no,
yeah.
it's not.
No,
The
it's
fact
not
that you
at
clarify
all.
makes it a rubbish answer.
He has been thinking that for a while though.
He had?
Yeah. He said
What do
to-
you know, Gio?
He'd said to the few of the boys, me, Tommy, Ben, I think, we were sat down in a mini fire pit, and he was saying that if anyone, he was going to speak to Shakira. That was before Billy Kiss, before Casa, and that was way back then. So he had been thinking about it for a while.
Yeah.
And then obviously Billy Kiss came, and then Casa came, so kind of got put on the back burners. But for him, Megan was perfect. So Shakira is probably the most similar looking to Megan.
I don't think Megan and Shakira look anything alike.
No,
like, not
me
even in the
neither,
slightest.
me neither.
They just both have dark hair and they're petite.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
about it.
that's Connor's maths.
Yeah.
I never said that.
Boy
I thought
math.
that.
Boy
Connor's
math.
math.
It
Yeah.
at least does mean that as a viewer now it's like, oh, it's good that it doesn't just feel like he's
Yeah.
scrambling
Out
for
of
the
nowhere.
last like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
So Connor always closes his eyes like this when he's talking. If he's told everyone like it's Megan.
Yeah.
Oh, bless him. He does miss her.
He does
I mean,
miss-
Shakira does seem happy. When it first had come out, I was quite surprised.
Yeah.
But from last night's episode, she does seem quite giddy. And, you know, not from personal experience or anything, sometimes when you start off as friends, it does blossom into something
Yeah.
good and it works
That's,
out.
yeah, like
So
exactly. Like
they have that friendship
they
already.
do.
So
I do have one question though. Obviously, Connor said, "Will you kiss me?" And she said no, and she kept saying no. Do you think that was because of Ty, or do you think it was because of that awful hat and scarf combo? Would you kiss someone that was wearing a hat and scarf together?
I liked it.
I thought it was quite
Yeah,
chic.
me
I get what he
too.
was
Really?
going with.
Yeah.
I gotta agree with
It was,
Amy on this.
it was like you know, like kids have the hats that have the long bits at the back.
It was kind of giving like chic safari. I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the vibe. I don't
Very
know
Indiana
if it,
Jones.
I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
I think from Shakira, I think she's doing it like honestly to protect Ty's future, because that's
Yeah.
happened to her a few times where someone's kissed someone in the hideaway behind her back,
Yeah.
and she knows it hurts. So I genuinely think she is coming from a good place,
Yeah.
and it's like I think she did want to kiss him, but I think
Oh,
she's
she
like
defo wanted to
yeah,
kiss him.
she's just being like, no, do you know what? I didn't like it. I need to speak to Ty first,
Yeah.
and then she'll kiss him.
Yeah.
Also
Fair
sexy
play.
as well, isn't it? Like to want to, but to not.
Yeah.
It's only going to make it
Fruit,
even more
you know.
like,
In the
oh.
hot tub,
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
I wish we had
God.
more time to talk through the whole forbidden fruit thing, but that is all we've got time for today. Emily and Gio, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having
We've
us.
loved watching you. We've loved meeting you,
Thank
and
you.
we wish you the best for everything in the
Yeah.
future.
Thank you.
Babs and Fab. Jack, my love, we'll be back tomorrow.
If you'll have me.
Yes,
Yes, of course we will. Make sure you keep an eye out for Love Island First Look. It will be on YouTube and all the Love Island socials this afternoon. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening or watching.
And we want to know who you think Shakira and Ty will dump in tonight's episode. So please leave it in the comments below.
And we will see you same time, same place tomorrow morning.
See